Hello all you dragon folk! Do you play the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? Because I do. You should do. Subscribe to the channel as well because I'm going to be bringing you guys some amazing Final Fantasy XIV content. Now, for today's video, have you guys ever wanted a weapon that's just so cool, so special? You get a title just for acquiring it. Something along the lines of the greatest weapons in the game, such as the weapons from the epic Alexander, the Ultima Weapon Ultimate, or the Ultimate Coil of Bahamut? Well, then I have the weapon just for you. A weapon so powerful you won't even use it, because you'd break the game if you tried. That's right, I'm talking about the Realm Reborn Zodiac weapon. And I'm here to show you how to get it, and also cry in the process. But before we start on this process, here's a few things you'll probably want to do first. This content is for those who have beaten the Ultimate Weapon, which is the final Realm Reborn quest line for the main scenario. So make sure you do that. You also need to make sure that you have beaten all of your job quests up until level 50. That is also very important in order for you to complete this quest line, or to even start it at that rate. Another thing you're going to want to do is you're going to definitely, in my personal opinion, be higher than level 50 in order to do this. While you can do this at level 50, it's not recommended for if you want to do it by yourself. And this content can be done by itself for the most part, give or take a little bit of extra little steps. Sometimes you need 2 people for a dungeon or a trial, but you definitely won't need 8 for a dungeon or for a trial, or for 4 for a dungeon. You're not going to need that either. I've done pretty much most of this just by myself, so needing any more than that is not really necessary. But when you are a higher level, you do also get the benefit of not getting aggro from trash mobs. You can go into dungeons unsynced, which means that you can go into them at the cap of 80, which is right now level 80. You don't have to wait until you are level 80, but if you did want to go in at level 80, you could. That's just another benefit of doing these at a higher level. So that's a recommendation for me, but if you want to do this at level 50, please feel free to do so. There is nothing stopping you. Another thing that you're going to need is some poetic tomestones. The poetic tomestones are things that you would earn when you beat the Ultimate Weapon quest in the quest the Praetorium, and also in Castrum Meridium. You will be able to get those tomestones. So you're going to want to keep those, I'd say roughly an estimated like 300 to start. And then as you go through this content, you'll start gaining more and more. But if you ever need more, just make sure to do your dailies. Another thing that everybody should know is that this quest line is only for the classes available to you in a Realm Reborn, which means that the following classes listed here are not able to do this quest line. There is just not a weapon for them. A weapon has not been made for them to be, for them to go back and do the quest. So they do not have access to this quest. So you're gonna have to make sure you're one of the starting Realm Reborn classes in order to do that. One more thing, I almost forgot. Actually, the most important thing you're going to need for this entire quest line is patience. You're gonna need a lot of patience, because this is gonna take you a little while. And unless you grind pretty hard at it, it's not gonna be too bad, but definitely needs some patience. You're not gonna be able to get it done in a day. You're not gonna be able to get it done maybe even in a week. But I've been wrong before. Who knows, I could be wrong now. And you might also want to get a friend too. Like I had mentioned before, some of these quests actually do require you to have a couple extra people in there. I'd say 1 person extra, including yourself. That's all you really need. Some people go in with 3, some people go in with 4, and they just have friends who are all doing it all at the same time. So if you have more friends who are also in the middle of doing their relic, I suggest that you team up with them. That way this process will be much easier on you. Your first task in starting the Relic Reborn quest line is to head on over to Vesper Bay. Yes, pray return to Vesper Bay, the Waking Sands. Then you're going to talk to a man by the name of Nedrick Ironheart. There's him right there. You go ahead and talk to him, and he will begin your quest line and tell you to go visit a man named Geralt in the North Shroud. Once you've teleported to the North Shroud, you can go ahead and head on up to the northeast. Specifically right up in that corner, you will find Geralt there, hammering away at whatever task he was given. After speaking with Geralt, he will give you a long list of quests in a simultaneous order. You'll eventually get them one at a time. There are several parts to this specific one, so please make sure to pay attention and always be checking your journal for information that you may have missed during the dialogue. Now that you've gotten your Relic Reborn quest started, you can always go ahead and check out how your weapon looks here by going to the journal and trying it on, and that way you can kind of see what your first available kind of skin is for the quest, or for the weapon. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and travel on down to the area it sends you to. Every place is going to be different depending on the weapon, so definitely make sure to check your journal for that. And like I had said previously, when you are a higher level, like level 60 plus, that actually is going to benefit you here in this situation, because you're going to be able to just kind of walk on in here and take your weapon. You're not going to have to worry about fighting all the monsters on your way to get in here, like in previous renditions of the Relic weapon, back when A Realm Reborn was the only expansion storyline out there. Now we are much higher level, and we can just go on in there, and take what we need, and get out. Now that you have your base Relic weapon, go ahead and head on back over to Geralt in the North Shroud. You're going to be coming back here a lot, so memorize where he is, but if you can't find him, you can always find him with this giant quest marker on the map. Now that you've delivered the time-worn pair of your weapon, now what you can do is you can move on to the next part of the quest. The next part, if you go ahead and check in your journal, it will also tell you the same information, but you need to attach materia to another weapon, a weapon that is crafted through the means of the crafting jobs. And it'll tell you here in your journal what weapon you need to get, what quality, and what materia you need in order for you to equip it to that. Now, equipping materia to stuff, you need to have a crafting class available to you. You need to at least have one, and it needs to be of the type that you need to put onto the weapon. So what you could do, theoretically, is you could craft all of this. You could get on your gathering class, you could craft the entirety of it, and your crafting and your gathering class, you can get it all together, and you can work real hard to make it. But at the end of the day, you won't need to do that. Just go to the market board, like I'm doing here, type in the weapon you need, make sure to get it in high quality, and then you'll need to buy the materia as well. You'll click on the weapon, and you'll see that you can attach materia to it when you have a crafting class leveled up for it. Now, every weapon might need a different class, but in this way it's going to be pretty straightforward. And when you're searching for the materia, please make sure to note the materia that you actually need in your quest log. That will tell you what you need to buy, how much you need to buy of it, but normally you need to buy 2 of the materia and attach both of them to the high quality weapon in question. And then, once you've done all of that, you can then move on back over to Geralt and hand him this weapon. Now, something else to note here, if you do not have access to the market board because you are a free-to-play account, you can go about just crafting it. You will unfortunately have to go about crafting it. Either that or you'll have to be able to, you'll be able to have to meld it somehow. This is why I always suggest that if you're going to level something else, start leveling your crafters. They're very useful. You don't need to have a crafter at a very high level for this specific meld, so it's not like you need to get it really high, but if you wanted to also craft your weapon as well, the weapon is roughly about level 47, I think, is where it about starts. So you want to make sure that you're able to craft level 47 weapons. That way you can have the weapon, make sure to get it high quality, so you need to be at least in great gear to get it high quality and know what you're doing. And then you can attach the materia to it. Now that you've turned in your materia weapon to Geralt, you can now move on to the next part of the quest. You need to collect Illumina salts from the Dorm Chimera, which is a terrifying beast. So, first, what you're going to do is if you're above level 60, maybe even a little bit higher than that, I'm doing this at level 70, I turn my party finder, my duty finder, to unsynced, so that way undersized party, so I can just go in unsynced and fight it myself. But if you need a party to do this, just queue up as normal, and you will probably find one, believe it or not, with the influx of new players. And then, if you have not unlocked the quest, you're going to head on over to Korthus, and you're going to go to the top right corner of the map. And there you will find the entrance to the Dorm Chimera's lair. And at that point, you're going to queue up, and you're going to defeat the terrifying beast that is the Dorm Chimera. And it's dead. Yeah, do this unsynced. Seriously. It's going to save you like 1,000 years worth of time. So, really, do it unsynced, please. Next step, that's right. Return back to Geralt in the North Shroud. Go ahead and give him those salts, and he will give you your next task. Your next task being to go talk to Rowena up in Revenant's Toll. That's in Mordona, for those of you who don't know where Revenant's Toll is. Once you go and find her on the map, you'll go ahead and speak to her, and she will tell you that she needs a tablet, a stone with some words on it or something or whatever, and you have to go get it from Amdapor Keep. Now, big ol' little thing here, big ol' little thing I say. Amdapor Keep is not a dungeon that you would have open regularly. It is a side quest in order to unlock the Amdapor Keep dungeon. And there are two ways you can do it, and they are, you can talk to Nedrick Ironheart after you have beaten the Orem Vale side quest, and he will have that accessible to you. Nedrick Ironheart being the guy that we spoke to begin this quest in the beginning. He will give you the quest to unlock Amdapor Keep. It's either that or achieving max rank in your Grand Company and getting the quest from your Grand Company to unlock the Amdapor Keep. So, one or the other, but that is how you go about unlocking that. And once it's unlocked, do exactly as I tell you. Go in, unsynced, and just absolutely demolish that dungeon. You can go in at a higher level, like I had said previously, so definitely worth to just go through. It makes the dungeon 1,000 times faster. You don't need a healer, and if you can't complete the dungeon by yourself, then of course recruit a friend. Friends are always nice, and I'm sure somebody out there will be more than happy to help you out in your journey through an unsynced Amdapor Keep. But after you have defeated the end boss of Amdapor Keep, you will get the glyph, the scripture, if you would, and you will then return that to Rowena. Rowena will in turn give you something, and then you will give that to Geralt. back in the North Shroud. And once you have given that to Geralt, he will then craft you your very first kind of teaser of your relic weapon, which is the unfinished version of your relic weapon. So it's going to look a little dull, a little silly, but remember to keep this in a nice place where you can find it, because you will be needing it for the quests coming up. So for the next step, Geralt says that your relic weapon needs blood. Lots of it. Not exactly in that sense, but that's pretty much what it is. You need to go out and you need to kill about 24 enemies in certain beast tribe areas, depending on your weapon. So it won't always be the same place, but you're going to just go out and all you need to do is wear the unfinished relic weapon that you have. So you cannot use your higher level weapon. You need to use the unfinished relic weapon to punch the heck out of these things, in my case. Then you can go back to Geralt and turn in that quest. For the next task, you are going to be taking on the dreaded Hydra to pretty much infuse it into your weapon. You will need to be wearing your unfinished relic weapon for this specific fight, so unlike the Dorm Chimera, you cannot use your strong weapon. You need to use this unfinished one. So once you have that, you'll need to go and unlock the quest. Well, I shouldn't say really unlock it, I guess this is the part of it, but you're going to go over to Halatali, which is in the Eastern Thanalan area. You're going to go head on over there and you will unlock the trial for a Relic Reborn Hydra. Of course, do this unsynced, because if you don't do it unsynced, you're pretty much wasting your time. But if you have no other choice than to do it unsynced, or you can't do it by yourself, bring some friends, and they will be more than happy to take care of it alongside with you. Now, before starting this next part, you are going to want to actually make sure that you have unlocked all of the hard trials for the primals currently available. That is the hard trials for Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan. Those three are necessary in order to complete this last part, so make sure you have that taken care of. The quest to unlock the hard trials is located in the Waking Sands, nonetheless. You're going to end up talking to Minfilia, and she will give you the quest line in order to start that. But once you have turned in the quest to Geralt, he will then tell you that he needs the souls of all three of these primals. And luckily, you don't have to do it with your stinky, unfinished weapon. So, go ahead and equip that good weapon of yours and make sure to do all of these dungeons and trials, I should say, unsynced. Except for Titan. Titan you may not be able to do by yourself. Props to you if you're able to do it by yourself unsynced, but I was not. Jail was not my friend, and I got stuck in it several times and consistently died at level 70. But if you can power through Titan and his jails, then by all means do it solo. But I had to recruit a friend, so that is always an option for you. You've done it. You've made it to the last step in creating the first iteration of your Zodiac weapon, the Relic stage. And this next part is going to be pretty difficult. It's going to be very hard. All the battles that had happened previously are not going to compare to the absolute terrifying step of this next thing. Well, remember those tomestones I was talking to you about earlier? Having about X amount of tomestones? Well, it's because you need to buy something. The Radzahan Quenching Oil is the next thing that you're going to buy. You're actually going to go over to this wonderful lady in Mordona by the name of Oriana. And she, once you click on her, she has a section for Tomestones of Poetics Special Arms. Go ahead and click on that, and you'll find the Radzahan Quenching Oil in there for a whopping 15 Tomestones of Poetics. And as I had mentioned previously, you'd be getting these Poetics by doing things such as Castrum Meridium or Praetorium, doing any of your level 50 post-Realm Reborn dungeons, or really anything post an expansion dungeon will get you some Poetics. So make sure to get yourself at least 15, so a dungeon's worth, or do some hunts. You can do that too. And then you're done. Now, I suggest while you're here, you also pick up some more items. These next items are the Thavnarian Mists that are right below the Radzahan Questing Oil. They go for 20 Tomestones of Poetics apiece, and you need 3 of them. So having 60 additional Tomestones is going to be nice. So 75 altogether while you're here at this trip. Go ahead and pick those up. You'll know why we're using those Thavnarian Mists in just a second. But with the Radzahan Quenching Oil, you'll go ahead and return back to Geralt. Hand him the Quenching Oil, and you will have finally achieved getting your first Relic weapon. And now, you can go through the rest of it, which of course, I will be providing a guide for every step of the way, so that way you aren't confused in your adventure to complete your Relic weapon, get to the end of the Zodiac stage, and truly enjoy some great lore behind every one of these weapons, and also enjoy the grind. But that's going to be it for me today. If you found any of this information helpful in any way, please make sure to like the video, and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm hoping to do more guides for you as well. We're going to be going along this whole Zodiac weapon stages together. I've completed one previously, but I wanted to start from scratch, and I wanted to show you guys step by step as to how to complete this. Some of the videos may have things tied in, so I might have a couple steps in one episode. But as for this one, this is a very long step, so I've taken the liberty of making it all into one video, and a good way for you to kind of get an idea of what is to come. But like I said, thank you all so much for watching, and please, if I missed anything, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, but if I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions, and I'm always here to help. Final Fantasy XIV has been a drug of choice of mine for a long time, so very happy to bring information to those who need it. But anyway, make sure to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and enjoy the grind. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Nerd out.